That story of the SGR also found its way onto this paper. Actually, it is under the special report that further details on how much was, according to the documents, which are not fully complete, actually. We understand the document is so large, we're looking at around 900 pages. But what has been made available, journalists have made do with it and have compiled special reports that are also on our website. But now here in this particular paper, it goes further to just detail how much was spent, what happened. Remember that on May 2022, that actually marked the five years since the operationalization of the SGR, the Madaraka Express there, and this was quite the occasion there. If I can take you down memory lane, where we had the former president, President Uhuru there, take a ride on the SGR all the way and come back to the capital. Now, it is said that this particular project is iconic and government continues to label it as such, but there's been conversation, especially when it comes to skills transfer. Now, in this particular article there, it indicates that the Chinese were supposed to hand over skills and much of the running of the SGR. And given that the Chinese were in control of the operations, including driving the locomotives, now it was expected that Afristar, which is a subsidiary of the Chinese company that is KBC, which built the railway, would train and equip Kenyans with the knowledge and skills to run the line, but as it stands, they are still calling the shots on the iconic piece of transport there, of infrastructure, railway infrastructure there. And so tomorrow the Supreme Court will be making public, will be making the final decision when it comes to the SGR deal. So the front page, load of hot air, Murkomen fails to give SGR deal. Falstart Transport sensationally, CS sensationally announced the government made public the standard gauge railway contract between Kenya and China, but it turned out to be bits and pieces of the pact. And apparently, he needs Chinese permission to make it public. If you have come across this particular detail, some of us in the business desk have come across this particular document. Well, there are clauses there that makes you raise eyebrows. Is that this particular deal was made in tune with the Chinese law, and in the event that there is a dispute, this dispute is going to be deliberated upon not on Kenyan soil, but in China, Beijing. That's just some of the issues that are contained in the document that was made public by the CS there. It also indicated that the materials that were used for the construction of the standard gauge railway were sourced from China, and that was a clause that was included in this particular deal. Further on, to actually help the country, rather Treasury, pay off the debt that was, the monies borrowed from the Chinese to construct this particular railway. That saw the rise of the Railway Development Levy, and it was charged on Kenyans in 2013. The levy was initially pegged at 1.15% and was later raised to 2% in the Finance Act of 2019. So in as far as math is concerned, between the financial year 2013, 2014 and June last year, the taxman collected at least 163.4 billion from the levy. This levy was imposed on all imports and has played part in making imports costly and in turn pushed up the cost of living. Treasury has denied reports that at some point it defaulted on repaying the SGR loans in July, and that the Exim Bank of China penalized Kenya a cool 1.31 billion shillings. As journalists, especially financial journalists, will continue keeping tabs on that as we await the decision that is going to be made by the Supreme Court tomorrow in regard to the SGR deal. So that's just the main read on the front page of the Standard, that also includes what Kenya is bringing back home from Egypt, where COP27 is happening, and President William Ruto there got to meet with the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak And now, owing to that particular meetup on, the precipice of matters of climate change, is that the UK has promised to fast-track a 500 billion shillings project that include the Mendengai geothermal, 2.5 billion shillings, that is led by GDC and Globelec. We have 25 billion shillings Grand Heights Fall, that investment in Tana River that will generate 1,000 megawatts of electricity, as well as 7.5 billion project that is the Malundi solar expansion, the 40 megawatts plans to double the size of Malindi solar and battery storage. That's just but a sneak peek of the stories that have found their way on the front page of this particular issue, including a recap of what happened yesterday in the new round of talks between Ethiopia and the Tigray talks, where we know former president Uhuru Kenyatta there has been leading those talks with other various African representatives, so to speak. Over to you, Victor.